Hey there you guys, welcome back. Today I thought we would go over, well, it's time for this Miltoniopsis Orchid to get chopped down. All of the old flowers are done. So I thought we would take a moment and I'll show you how I'm going to cut off the flower spikes, or where I'm going to cut them off. Also, I want to repot this. I don't know whether I told you, but this is severely pot bound, and it's been severely pot bound since I bought it. But I didn't know whether I was able to care for a Miltoniopsis or what, so I just left it the way that it was, just assuming that I would kill it. But I've been able to grow it successfully, and yeah, so I'll show you the root system. It's jam-packed. We're going to take it from the 4-inch square pot that it's in, and I'm going to put it in a 6-inch clear pot. This clear pot doesn't have a lot of ventilation holes in the side, but that's alright because Miltoniopsis like to be more on the moist side. So with the less air circulation at the side of the pots, it means that it's going to hold on to a lot more moisture. So that's okay. I'm not going to keep it waterlogged, but I will keep it well drained, or well watered. And it also has vent holes in the side of the pot at the bottom, so that's a good thing. It's not without vent holes. So anyway, I've got this soaking in water right now because I want to moisten everything up and make sure that it's easy and pliable to get through. Thank you for that tip. I think I've used that tip a few times, and it does make it easier to get sphagnum moss out of the pot. Okay, so what are we going to do? I've got some rubbing alcohol here. I'm going to sterilize some scissors. Just going to pour some rubbing alcohol on a paper towel, being generous with it. I'm just going to wipe down these scissors, and then we'll get things prepped. Let these rest for a couple of seconds off to the side. I've got a mix of sphagnum moss and coconut coir chunks, and I've got my plant, I've got my pot. Am I missing anything? Am I missing anything? I know that I'm used to missing soil and stuff. I think I've got everything that I need to repot this. I've got scissors. Let's close up this alcohol bottle. Rubbing alcohol. And I'll bring you a little bit closer, and we'll chop down some flower spikes, and we will repot this poor thing. Also, what I found really interesting is, as it's peeing all over the mat, that's alright. In a few of my orchids, I have ferns growing. I guess where they were grown in the greenhouse, they were near some ferns, and some spores have fallen into the media, and they've taken hold. I've got this one that looks like a Boston fern, and then I have another one upstairs that starts with a P, poly something. I'll show you that in another video at some point. But it's got the fuzzy rhizomes that run along the surface of the soil. It's really, really cool. I've always wanted to buy one, but I've never bought one. And it's a good thing I didn't, because I got one for free. I'm just so happy that it survived. Anyway, enough of that. Come on in closer. Okay, so a different view. As you can see here, I hope you can see, these flower spikes are completely dead for the most part. Let me see if I can bring that in. See how this flower spike here follows down to the pseudobulb? We want to cut it as close to the pseudobulb as we can. It's alright to leave about an inch or so, no harm. You can leave them on your plant too, they're just really unsightly. And same thing with this one here. See, it's follow my finger down here. You want to cut it off at around this point here, about an inch from the pseudobulb. Try not to damage any of the leaves in the process, because those leaves will not grow back. So what you do now will affect the look of the plant into the future. So be as careful as you can. So I'm just going to take my sterilized scissors and just going to carefully slide my finger down the leaf, and then cut off the flower spike. Some of these flowers still look like they're in decent shape, but I'm just getting rid of them anyway. I want to repot, and I want to get rid of the flowers that are taking up energy from the plant because I'm repotting. And I've got all kinds of new growth going on this plant. I'll show you that in a second. Probably when I get the plant out of the pot. Okay, so move those old flower spikes and all the dead flowers out of the way. And let's unpot this beautiful, beautiful plant. I'm going to try to take that fern away too. I don't need it growing in with this orchid. It's so tight in the pot. Here we go. Look at the root system on this. That's incredible. It's got really nice roots though. Absolutely beautiful. So I'm going to work ahead and try to get as much of this old moss out of the root system as possible. And I won't bring you along for that because it could take a while. As you can see, I'm just going to go through with my fingers and just carefully pry out as much of it as I can. Being careful, trying not to break any roots. You will break some roots, but that's okay. They will grow back. But yeah, you just want to not stress out the plant if you don't have to. Alright, so I will be right back. Okay, so I've removed the majority of the moss from the root system. I really tried my best. It was hard to get into this section here. My hope is that after we repot it, the root system will relax and spread out a little bit more, and then I'll be able to get in there a little bit easier. But this time I got as much as I could. As you can see up in here, it's just a solid mass of roots. So in picking and digging, I'll just end up breaking more than I want to. And I was trying to kind of tease the roots away, but they're just knotted up here. I was able to get that fern out, so we'll try to repot that up. I might actually use the leftover moss and plant it because it's been liking that medium. So let's look at all the baby plants that are in here, or growth tips, because that's pretty exciting. Right here by my finger, there's a little growth node. Let's spin it around here. I've got a new growth right here. I've got another one just beside it. And then underneath this fern here, there's another growth coming here from the side. Somewhere from back and behind, I don't know if you can see that one, but there's some new leaves coming out there, as well as some new growth coming out here. So I've got, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 6 growth points from this plant so far. So that's a fantastic multiplication rate. That's ridiculous. So I'll keep you posted on how those grow. So let's take the pot. We're going to add some of this pre-moistened coconut coir chunks and sphagnum moss. I tried to do a 50-50 mix. It doesn't really look like the 50-50 mix took. Let me just set this down, and I'm going to grab some more sphagnum moss. There we go. Always got some sphagnum moss hanging out. This is Will Grow is the brand. Sphagnum moss. I haven't been growing orchids long enough to really have a brand that I choose over anything else. I know that some of you have specific brands that you like. I suppose there's the long fiber and if you're doing some types of plants, you want the long fibers to wrap, but I'm not really that involved. So anything will do. I just want something to retain moisture. So I'm just going to work that in there a little bit. Doesn't have to be completely moistened. Okay, so I'm going to put some soil in the bottom, or some media in the bottom. Remember that the Miltoniopsis likes to have a moist medium, so you don't want to have a coarse bark and only coarse bark. You want to have something with some moisture retention. But they do like good airflow, so you want to remember that as well. So since I took the majority of media out from in the center of the root ball, I'm just going to pack some media into the center here, just so I don't crush anything. I'm going to find the center point as best I can in the pot and just plunk the plant down in there. And now I'm going to just fill in around. I'm going to use firm pressure, but not the Incredible Hulk pressure. I don't want to break roots, but I don't want all kinds of air pockets. I say that, but good airflow. But I don't know, you plant lovers probably know what I mean. You don't want big holes of air in there. Alright. Make sure all the roots are packed in there. You want to also do it firmly so that your plant is stable. If you have an orchid that's not stable, chances are it will not grow very well for you, because it will always try to stabilize itself before it really starts to grow and or flower. Okay. I think we're good. So I didn't plant it deeper than what it was originally. I've got the growth points right here. This is the base of the plant. I can see the roots coming out. Let's see if I can bring it a little closer. You can see the roots developing right there. So that should be the media line where you stop the soil or bark or whatever you're using. Same thing with this side. The bulb is just on top of the medium. As your plant grows, sometimes they will create a trunk, so it is okay to plant them a little bit deeper, like a Phalaenopsis. A Phalaenopsis will eventually kind of grow a stem, and the roots will develop up, and you'll notice that the longer stem down below might have started to rot. So you can plant it a little deeper next time when you go to repot it, if it requires it. So anyway, I will keep you updated on this. Fingers crossed that flowers again for next year. I know that I had good luck with it so far, so I don't see why it wouldn't. So I'll keep you again updated on this plant, and stay tuned for more updates. Actually, while I got you here, let's just take this pot and plant up this fern. I really like this moss mix, so why not keep it that way? I never even thought about growing a fern in moss. It makes sense, because they like a lot of moisture and a lot of humidity, and the moss will add the humidity. Soil sometimes dries out way too quickly for a fern. Why not give it a try? I'll keep you posted on this one too. I've got another fern up in the grow lights, and we'll see if this one does better than that one. Experiment time! Anyway, happy growing, everyone. Normally I don't like bunnies, but this one is absolutely adorable. It's probably 6 inches long. Just a little baby.